Deep in China, in the territory of the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, lies one of the harshest and least habitable zones on the planet, the Kuzuchi Desert, which for many years was considered virtually devoid of life and any prospects, yet it was here that a story unfolded that became a symbol of transformation, perseverance, and the belief that even the most exhausted lands can be brought back to life. It began in 1958 when the Chinese government proposed an unusual and seemingly risky initiative aimed at combating desertification, improving the environmental situation, and raising the living standards of the local population, with the central part of this project being the relocation of 1 million rabbits to the sandy areas of the desert, which subsequently led to results that surprised not only the country, but the global community. The very idea of populating barren territories with a large number of small animals seemed strange and even ridiculous, yet it is precisely such unconventional approaches that often become the engine of progress, as they require courage, a rejection of habitual patterns of thought, and a readiness to test new hypotheses, even if they look questionable. And in this case, the choice was made in favor of Rex rabbits, animals that became not just part of the experiment, but its key factor, influencing the fate of the entire region. In conditions where humanity increasingly faces the consequences of climate change, soil degradation, depletion of natural resources, and the expansion of desert territories, the Chinese experience acquired special significance, turning into a vivid example of how a comprehensive approach and human interaction with nature are capable of producing tangible results and serving as a guideline for other countries striving to restore their own ecosystems. One of the main reasons for choosing rabbits was their high ability to adapt to arid conditions. Rex rabbits are distinguished by their fertility, endurance, and ability to survive with a lack of water. They are able to feed on coarse and sparse vegetation, which makes them suitable for life in a desert environment, and the breeders involved in developing this breed took many parameters into account, from resistance to diseases and general health to growth rates and reproductive characteristics, thanks to which they managed to obtain a species maximally adapted to harsh climatic conditions. These animals not only multiplied quickly, but also demonstrated the ability to promptly adapt to new food sources, including dry grasses and desert plants, and their behavior when eating vegetation contributed to maintaining ecological balance. By consuming dominant plant species, the rabbits cleared space for the emergence of more diverse flora, thereby stimulating the restoration of biological diversity. By 2017, the population of Rex rabbits in the desert regions of China reached approximately 4.5 million individuals, which was the result of large-scale breeding programs and the gradual transformation of the ecosystem, while the project had a noticeable impact not only on the ecology but also on the economy of the region, as the volume of production related to rabbit farming reached 560 million yuan, or about $80 million, becoming significant financial support for local farmers and herders. Residents of the region began to breed rabbits not only for meat but also for valuable fur, which was in high demand and became the main source of income for many families, creating new jobs and contributing to the development of enterprises specializing in the production and sale of fur products. And thanks to government support, farmers received subsidies, low-interest loans, and access to educational programs teaching modern methods of breeding and animal care, which allowed for a significant increase in the living standards of rural communities in a relatively short time. One of the most impressive results of the project was the gradual transformation of the desert into an oasis. In areas where sands previously dominated, vegetation began to appear, and this process was gradual and required a comprehensive approach, including the creation of a stable ecosystem in which rabbits played an important role, as well as the introduction of agronomic practices such as crop rotation and the combination of various crops aimed at increasing soil fertility. Rabbits became part of the grazing system, enriching the soil with natural fertilizers and improving its structure, which contributed to moisture accumulation, the emergence of new plant species, and further growth of biological diversity, while farmers were able to reduce dependence on chemical fertilizers and increase the yield of their lands. And the increase in the level of environmental awareness of the population played a key role in the success of these transformations. Communities of environmentally conscious farmers began to form in the region, exchanging knowledge, spreading sustainable land use practices, and becoming a driving force for change, while training events and seminars were held in parallel, explaining the importance of harmonious interaction with nature and achieving common environmental goals. Significant changes also occurred in the social sphere. People began to leave their homes less frequently in search of a better life. Education and healthcare indicators improved, safety increased, and the cohesion of local communities strengthened. And the exchange of experience between farmers, the support of academic circles, and the creation of coordinating organizations contributed to the formation of a new cultural environment based on cooperation and responsibility. In schools and educational institutions, classes dedicated to ecology, nature conservation, and sustainable agriculture appeared. Children learned from practical examples, realizing the importance of preserving the environment, and rabbit care programs and fur processing workshops became popular among young people, giving rise to new creative and entrepreneurial initiatives that not only stimulated economic development but also strengthened the cultural identity of the region. Despite the successes achieved, the project continues to develop. Scientists are looking for new ways to improve animal housing conditions and further restore the ecosystem, including ideas for integrating rabbits into a broader agricultural cycle with the planting of plants that improve soil structure and nutritional properties, while rabbits are increasingly used in educational programs, forming an understanding of the principles of sustainable development among the younger generation. The Chinese government supports similar initiatives in other regions of the country, viewing the restoration of ecosystems with the participation of animals as an important tool for fighting climate change and the depletion of natural resources, and the success of the project in the Kuzuchi Desert attracted the attention of ecologists from all over the world, becoming an example for countries facing desertification problems. This experience is actively discussed at international conferences and scientific forums, used in research and publications dedicated to animal relocation and ecosystem transformation, and today, decades after the start of this bold experiment, it can be said with confidence that rabbits have become not just part of the local nature, but a symbol of hope, perseverance, and change possible even in the harshest conditions, reminding us that sometimes it is the smallest creatures that are capable of leading to the most large-scale changes, and showing how important it is to protect nature for the sake of future generations.